Also, is there 12 months, zero interest?
12 months, zero interest, zero payments for 12 months.
Zero payments and zero interest at the same time for 12 months.
That is correct.
That is a double header right there. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, online, aluminumcompany.com.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's. If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers. Learn more at parkinson.org or call 1-800-473-4636.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going,
Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com. WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
0-2. Swing and a high fly ball drilled center field. Veerling back some more, turning and looking, and it's out of here. Whoa! Way past that 409 marker to center field. Schwarber does it against the lefty, and for Kyle, it is home run number 38. The Phillies get some insurance. It's 2-0. Here comes. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that's the ball game. Darin closes it out, and the Phillies shut out the Tigers.
It is the Adam Gold Show. How is everybody? I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program.
New week. It's a Monday.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It's a pretty Monday, though.
Yeah.
It's not like Melt Your Face Off Monday.
What was that this weekend?
I know.
So, early mornings up at the ranch.
Uh-huh.
Kind of long sleeve. It was a long sleeve Saturday, Sunday, and this morning.
Wow.
Long sleeve morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a change of events.
Very exciting. Oh, man.
I know that clip was about Schwarber, who was a former Cubby, but
Yeah.
how about that Justin Turner walk-off homer yesterday? Sorry.
What is he, 40? He's the
He is
oldest
40.
The oldest walk-off homer
First
ever?
time out there, too. Let's go, Turner. It's exciting.
Good for him.
I know. It was fun.
Nobody hit a ball out of Bristol Motor Speedway, though.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that a little bit. There's been some criticism for Major League Baseball, and other than not being able to feed everybody, I don't really understand the criticism. Outdoor game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're going to do. I mean, it's outdoors.
Yeah. No control.
Rain happens.
Yeah.
So we're kind of lucky that we haven't had more issues with the outdoor games in the NHL, right?
Yeah, big time.
I think the first Winter Classic, wasn't that Buffalo and Pittsburgh? It's a long time ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And they played in the snow, which theoretically you go, oh, man, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not good for the ice.
Nope, not.
It makes it difficult to skate.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was not awesome. And they had a year, I believe they've had rain in one, but not necessarily throughout.
Right.
And then, you remember the year they did Lake Tahoe? They had a game in Lake Tahoe. And it was an afternoon game scheduled, but because it was bright sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
It was
blinded people.
It was that, but it also impacted the ice.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no.
Yeah.
So they actually delayed the game to start later in the day, and got a little cooler, obviously, but the sun wasn't as big a factor. Look, Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Mother Nature, undefeated.
Can't control it.
All right, we have. There's a lot of things to do. We're going to talk about some fan items because we had Fan Fest in Charlotte, right, at Bank of America Stadium.
Did not rain.
It did not rain. We had 91,000 of them in Bristol for the Braves and the Reds. We needed 2 days for that. So we should start.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Baseball game was a challenge. Needed a second day. Again, I mentioned there's been some criticism for Major League Baseball. I get the they ran out of food apparently.
Oh, wow. How do you do
They
that?
didn't have enough hot dog buns.
How do you?
What? So like
What?
And there was a lot of festivities planned, and they had a lot of bad weather, so they were delaying the game. They tried to get it in. As it ended up, it was suspended. They came back the next day and finished the game. But yeah, there were logistical things that got in the way, and that's bad. You know, it took them 34 days to create a baseball field.
Oh.
Right. 34 days. That is amazing.
Yeah.
That you could transform the infield at Bristol Motor Speedway, which while it's, I think it's a short track. I'm not 100% sure.
Maybe.
91, it's not my thing. 91,000 people, but they created a makeshift stadium inside the infield.
Yeah.
And they're taking that field, the field they played on, and they are bringing it to East Tennessee State and giving it to that baseball program.
Wow.
Dugouts, new synthetic turf, all of it. They're just shipping it to Johnson City.
Like it's a present.
Good for it. Kind of is.
Yeah.
So good for that baseball program. Good for Major League Baseball for trying something like that. Again, 91,000.
It's a lot.
People.
It's a lot.
All right.
They ran out of hot dogs.
They ran out.
Go to
They
Harris
ran out
Teeter.
of buns.
Go to Harris
Apparently,
Teeter.
they didn't run out of hot dogs. They ran out of buns.
Wow.
I got nothing for that. So this is what happened because I tweeted out a picture of the stadium and it looked very cool. And immediately I get a picture. Somebody sends me a picture of Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. This is what the Hurricanes should do for their next outdoor game. Bring it to Charlotte. And I'm thinking, why would they do that?
Yeah.
They have a better venue here for this because it's not, so expansive. The cool part about Carter Finley Stadium was that it seats 50-some-odd thousand, and it's more intimate. I mean, theoretically, they could do it at Keenan, too, but why would they do that when they have a stadium right across the freaking street?
Right.
But I just couldn't figure out why the Hurricanes would bring a game like that 2.5 hours away from their fan base.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
I'm not saying they don't have fans in Charlotte. I'm sure they do. But why would you? Most of your fans are right here.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that?
No.
Oh, to promote the game in Charlotte. Sorry. They're not taking that and bringing it there. Could they do a preseason game in Charlotte? Yeah.
No.
They could do a preseason game in Charlotte. Not at Bank of America Stadium.
No.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And
Panthers going to come out here? Is that what we're doing? We're swapping for a game?
We taking a Dallas is going to play against Carolina in Raleigh.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
No.
They're not. All right. Let me by the way, Tar Heels also opened up their training camp. We're going to talk to Brian Murphy about this in just a couple of minutes because why not? All right, Dave Canales, Fan Fest, Bryce Young, are you happy?
Absolutely. Just the operation of it all, and getting us out there, flowing in and out of personnel, some tempo involved in there, hitting most of his throws. I think a couple he might have missed, slightly. Even kind of that touchdown he had at the end. I wanted to get a fourth down attempt right there, but I think he's going to take a big hit and throw a touchdown on that play. But he's extending plays when he has to. But he was on time and on the money today, so I'm excited about where he's at.
All right, one more thing from Dave Canales. This Jimmy Horn guy has been turning heads. I know he was a late round draft pick, but more and more it looks like he's going to be able to stick, which means that if you're not keeping 7 wide receivers, somebody got to go. Canales on Horn and his playmaking ability.
Yeah, I think it's the energy he plays with, and he doesn't quit on routes. He continues, after the normal part of the protection you can count on, he continues to find space, and play fast. And it's a credit to his fitness, but it's also a credit to just the energy that he puts out there, that you want to throw to him.
All right, I'm going to ask this one question, then we're going to hear from Adam Schefter of ESPN. Micah Parsons, one of the best defensive players on earth right now, demanded a trade from the Cowboys because they refused to pay him. Is there a good reason why the Panthers shouldn't try to trade for Micah Parsons?
I don't see any. Why not?
I mean, I can't come up with a really good reason why they shouldn't try to go out and get him. Now,
just a different kind of blue.
I mean, look, he is a game changer. Adam Schefter, will the Cowboys actually trade him?
I've been trying to think of the last time that Jerry Jones traded a Pro Bowl caliber player away, and I cannot think of any. Now, there are comps out there. If you look at the time that the Raiders traded Khalil Mack to the Bears right before the season began in September for a couple of first-round picks and other compensation. That would be the closest comp. But Jerry Jones wants to win now. He's not looking to win in the future. He's not looking for future draft picks. And his history suggests that he won't be willing to make a trade here. Now, again, we have yet to hear from the Dallas Cowboys on how they feel about this particular situation. It's one thing to actually make the request. It's another to see it come to fruition. Could it happen? Yes. Every other team would love to acquire any one of these players. But for it to actually happen takes an awful lot because you've got to satisfy the player with his contract and the team that is trading him away.
I'd do it. I wouldn't even hesitate. I would do it. As we bring in Brian Murphy, WRAL's sports investigative reporter, who is joining us. I don't know. You're not a Cowboys fan, I'm pretty sure, but
I'm not.
But you might be a Panthers fan. If you were the Panthers, would you at least ring Jerry and say, "What do you want for your best defensive player"?
Of course. What I don't understand is that this has happened time and time again with the Cowboys. Like, if you sign a player early, they cost less. If you wait longer and longer and longer, they cost more. But Jerry Jones always waits till the last end and pays a premium for all of his guys.
Maybe Jerry just wants to pay them more money. Have you thought about maybe he's just super generous?
Or maybe Jerry should hand the reins over to someone else.
Oh, man. That has been noticeable for about a decade. Like the other element of that is that it's so disrespectful to the people who actually, work their whole lives to become general managers in the NFL. And you got some joker who's made billions of dollars in the oil industry and just says, it's football. I can do it. No, you can't, Jerry. But that's their team. I'm glad I'm not a Cowboys fan. I grew up a Jets fan, so we had our own dysfunction. But I'm no longer a Jets fan. I just enjoy the game untethered from expectations. Brian Murphy, WRAL Sports investigative reporter. Let's start with some UNC stuff. New Board of Trustees chair, Malcolm Turner, who has a wild resume. Run through it for me.
Yeah, he has an extensive sports resume. He works for DraftKings right now. He's the former athletic director at Vanderbilt. He was the president of the G League. He worked at Wasserman Media Group.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the things that are intersecting with college athletics, Malcolm Turner has been a part of. Sports gambling, media rights, development with the G League and taking, amateurs into professionals. I mean, all of it. He is a fascinating person to be running the UNC Board of Trustees at this very moment. Did not get a chance to speak to him. He haven't declined all media requests after being installed as the chairman. But, John Pryor, the outgoing chairman, obviously played a huge role in getting Bill Belichick to North Carolina. And now the new Board of Trustees chairman has an extensive sports background, way bigger than Lee Roberts.
Right.
And way bigger, for that matter, than Steve Newmark, the incoming athletic director at UNC.
All right, let's get to Lee Roberts, because he certainly is, without saying it, he made a lot of news when he was praising the ACC, but then at the same time, at the end of his little praise session of being a 70-year member and a founding member of the ACC, did say, as always, we're going to make whatever decision is best for the University of North Carolina. So, Inside Carolina had the story. Adam Smith, we talked to last week, had the story about, when the next round of conference realignment hits, which is probably 4 or 5 years from now, that UNC will push for a move to the SEC. What are your thoughts on this being a story again?
I've reported over the last 18 months, Dave Bullock, who's now the state auditor, was a member of the Board of Trustees, came out and flatly said on the record, we want to go to a higher revenue league. We'd like to go to the SEC. Sure. There's been some emails which indicate that, let Clemson and Florida State pay for all the attorneys. We know we have a landing spot when the time comes. I look at all of these moves together, right? Lee Roberts is getting the athletic department into a position where they will be attractive to an SEC or to a Big Ten. They're already attractive, obviously, as a market, as a brand, all that, but getting them to where they can be competitive. The athletic department budget for this year is $185 million. It has shot up dramatically over the last couple of years since I've been tracking it. And all this leads me to think, not only does Carolina think they're going somewhere, but they want to be ready when the time comes to go somewhere. They don't want to be languishing like a Maryland or a Rutgers that got that invite but never has been competitive on the field.
Yeah, well, Rutgers has never been competitive on the field apart from a one-off in football. The Big Ten clearly took them for one reason and one reason only, cable systems in the northern Jersey, New York area. Maryland, in Washington, D.C. But Maryland at least had some football pedigree. As a Maryland grad, I would posit this. While on the 15th, when do we get paid? 15th and 3rd, different. When do most people get paid? 15th and 30th, 1st and 15th, whatever the 2 days are of the month. It's really good to be in the Big Ten on payday for Maryland. But every other day it sucks. There's nothing. They have left their soul behind. But great, they're making a lot of money doing it. They're no good. They're occasionally good in basketball, but they have been no factor at all in football. More years than not, they're winning 2 games. If you're North Carolina, why would you want any part of the Southeastern Conference when the Big Ten would be just as welcome to you? A, they make a little bit more money in the Big Ten. They will in the long run. And B, that's a much more negotiable schedule.
Yeah, I think the indication I've gotten is think about Chapel Hill when LSU comes to town or when Tennessee comes to town
right.
or when Kentucky comes in basketball. There's just more of those teams in the SEC, Texas, Oklahoma. You name it. It goes on and on and on. Than there is in the Big Ten. There's a lot of meh in the Big Ten. Northwestern,
so Carolina
Minnesota,
can win
Iowa.
9, 10, 11 games in that league as opposed to winning 3, 4, 5 playing an SEC schedule.
I think that's the big fear. If you go to the SEC, are you going to be down forever?
Ask Oklahoma.
Right. It's a legitimate concern. And, those decisions I think are down the road. I think all this is positioning. I don't think there's a handshake agreement. I could be wrong, but I don't think there's a handshake agreement to go to the SEC at this point. I just think it's all about positioning yourself. But I think at some point, if you're Clemson, if you're Florida State, if you're UNC, you got to ask yourself, is it better to stay in this league and have a chance or go to that league and be one of many? In Carolina's case, probably be an average or below average team.
Oh, man, if they were an average SEC team, that would be amazing to me. They've basically been an average ACC team.
Right.
So,
are you satisfied being Kentucky or Mississippi State?
No, Mississippi State's bad.
Yeah.
Occasionally good, but bad.
Right.
Kentucky is there's been a lot of good football being played. That's the problem, I think, is that basically every week you've got somebody that can come in and just road grade you. In the Big Ten, you have an opportunity to win more games because there's a lot of teams that have the same profile as UNC. Brian Murphy is joining us, WRAL Sports.
One thing I'll add, and this talks to the politics of it, but if you're North Carolina and you've ditched the accreditation system and you've joined with all these southern states, including Florida and Texas, to create your own accreditation system, do you want to join a league where the Big Ten has an awful lot of blue states: Illinois, Michigan, Washington, Oregon, California, New Jersey, Maryland, where maybe they're not in sync with the leadership of your university, with the leadership of the system, whereas I think the SEC may be more in line with the direction that you want to go as a university when it comes to those issues.
I did not expect blue state, red state to come up in this conversation. That blows me away. But, I mean, that certainly is, all depends on what the Rust Belt does, right? All depends on what Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, it all depends on what they all do. Iowa's pretty red, right?
Well, sure, but it's not the same as joining, the accreditation thing I think is a big story that's kind of, under the radar. They've ditched the national accreditation system and are creating their own with all these southern states. And that may play out, in the future.
Brian Murphy, WRAL Sports investigative reporter, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Like, no joke, through my train of thought. I didn't realize that was coming up in conversation. That is tremendous. Let me ask you one quick thing about high school, and then I'll have something else before I let you go. NIL, there was a lawsuit that allowed a quarterback from Greensboro to get a bunch of NIL money. How many North Carolina high school football players are receiving NIL money this year?
Yeah, we don't know exactly how many football players, but 12 student athletes across
total
400.
Total student athletes?
Yeah, public school student athletes across 440 schools that are in the NCAA have signed deals. They represent 11 schools, and they represent 17 deals. So a couple of them obviously have signed more than one. Faison Brandon, the number one quarterback recruit in the country, is going to Tennessee. Said he had $1 million deal waiting for him, and lo and behold, at least one of these guys has signed a $1.2 million contract over 2 years. Leaf, the trading card company, announced a couple months ago that they had signed Faison Brandon. So, if you put it 2 and 2 together, it looks like that's the deal that is the biggest for a high school student in the state. But out of all the schools, out of 440 schools, only 12 athletes have even signed any NIL deal.
That's in some ways incredible. I wonder what that number is. I have no idea if it's even allowable in Texas, but I wonder what that number would be in Texas, considering what high school football is like in that state. You also, and it kind of came as a surprise to me, we talked to Mike Felder on Friday, and he had mentioned that he now works for, I think it's Tar Heel 247. And so inside Carolina, went free agent and left, right? They left 24/7 and now they're with on 3. Is that the first deal like that you've heard of?
No, there's been a whole reshuffling in this world of fan sites or team sites. I don't even know how to characterize them anymore because in a lot of cases they're the ones covering the team. Newspapers have in many ways gone away in places, and so they're the only sites covering the team. But there has been a huge shakeup over the summer when On3 bought Rivals, and I don't know the history that well, but Shannon Terry, who is now the head of On3, I guess started a lot of these sites when he was at Rivals.
Okay.
And then before that he was at 24/7, and so I think he's putting the band back together in a lot of ways. But it is interesting that the two big sites that cover Carolina at least seem to swap. They swapped networks. One went from Rival or 24/7 to On3, and the other went from On3 back to 24/7. So those guys do a ton of great work, and you mentioned Adam and Andrew Jones. They do tremendous work, but it was sort of a free agent period for these team sites. A lot of them have been changing hands in the last couple of weeks.
That is absolutely hysterical. And finally, Alabama and UNC are in the same conference. Brian Murphy, club hockey. It's not NCAA hockey, but it is ACC hockey. Club hockey. Carolina State. Oh, I have one more question about future football, but I think that's a pretty good deal. Now, is it Alabama Huntsville or the University of Alabama?
The logo was the University of Alabama. I have to admit, I didn't dive deep into that one, but there was a sense when, like, I think Arizona State started a hockey team. There was a sense that maybe hockey would, like, catch on.
They're D1. Arizona State's D1. Right. Alabama Huntsville, I think. I don't know. Alabama Huntsville is also D1 hockey, I believe.
I mean, this is a story up your alley. Now that these junior players can play in NCAA in the NCAA and sign big NIL deals, it seems like NCAA hockey is going to get a lot better.
You would think, theoretically. All right, real quick. NC, with all this news, UNC potentially into the SEC. Do you ever see a day where North Carolina and North Carolina State are not in the same conference?
I do. I mean, I don't think that's the desired outcome for anybody, but there's going to come a point, I think, where there's some sort of super league, whether that's just the SEC and the Big Ten breaking away or just, elevating themselves to a point where they're in a different thing. And I think at that point, it becomes every school for itself. Like, you don't want to get left behind just so you keep that rivalry going. I do think there may be a day where that happens, and let's hope college athletics doesn't get to that point, because, I think it's ridiculous. They're only playing one time in basketball this year, so that Carolina State can play Stanford and Cal. That seems like there's a way to modify that. If you're not going to play everybody, then why not play, make sure you play your rivals and don't play 2 teams or don't play 3 teams. But to your question, I think there is a day eventually where this thing splinters so much that, State and Carolina aren't in the same league, or Carolina and Duke aren't in the same league.
I can see Carolina and Duke. I think football is going to do their own thing. And I think that what we're going to end up with is just a very large version of, and we'll just call it like soccer, of the championship, right? Be NFL football, and then below it will be major college football, except that these are really going to be not necessarily college athletes, college students. It's just going to be football licensing. The names of schools. I just think it's going to do their own thing. And I think everybody will be in the same league, and they'll make so much more money than they're making now. That's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to worry about the NASCARization, for lack of a better term, of college football. Like, there was a reason NASCAR was so popular, and when it tried to build out beyond that, it's no longer as popular. And does college risk that? If you break up all these leagues and you're not playing your opponents anymore, and you're bringing in so much money, does at some point you lose what made college athletics so popular in the first place?
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to hurt the popularity of college football, right, but college athletics has definitely been damaged irreparably. That's not really a word. Brian Murphy, I appreciate your time, my friend. I will talk to you very soon.
Yeah, thanks, Adam.
At Murph's Turf on Twitter. Irreparably was the word I unsuccessfully said. Barry Svrluga of the Washington Post is going to join us next. Terry McLaurin has demanded a trade. That ain't going to happen. But what is Washington going through right now? We've got other things to deal with Barry Svrluga as well. Next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. We're in the preseason, so me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, are back in the trenches with our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Panthers news as training camp rolls forward. Insight on the rookies, the fresh free agents and surprises, plus all the insider info on the upcoming season. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my man Gordon Miller. Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. And while I was enjoying a great weather weekend, blowing in the breeze was this notion that, you know what? I could get a mortgage and not pay closing costs. It's amazing what happens when the weather is beautiful. That's right, Miller Lending, home of the original no closing cost mortgage. You'll never have to pay closing costs again. I'm an 11-time customer. Haven't paid a dime in closing costs. Have saved about $50,000. And then each time I refinanced, I lowered my monthly payment. Last time I did it, I lowered my payment by more than $300 a month. Miller Lending, home of the original no closing cost mortgage. Never pay closing costs. On Kildare Farm Road in Cary since 1996. an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 2502146.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Open the lid on a carton of Bluebell Homemade in the Shade, and you'll have it made, so to speak. It's a combination of our top-selling homemade vanilla ice cream with a swirl of rich chocolate fudge sauce. Enjoy an instant classic.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream, now available at Wegmans.
You know the feeling. Wake up, get ready, get the kids, the list goes on. But what if what you drive could make your life a little less complicated? With convenient home charging, a quieter ride, and an average range of more than 250 miles, EVs are one step toward a cleaner future, so you can focus on what really matters. Give yourself more time to recharge. EVs are for everyone. Sponsored by the NC Clean Energy Technology Center and the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters in cooperation with this station.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
Because if interrupting is part of the talent, then she wins.
Giving an RBF face? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, everybody saw it.
I didn't say it.
That picture,
did not say that.
When they were asking Bill and she interrupts him and they look at her, that's evil. Like,
yeah. Okay.
I was waiting for the lights to come out of her pupils.
You're not wrong.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria on the ones and twos. I legit lost my train of thought when Brian Murphy went to the Blue State Red State deal. I'm not saying that he was wrong or not. It just never occurred to me.
Yeah. That
we would be dealing with politics within the context of college football. But I mean, how many times do you hear people, or whether you're on Twitter, stick to sports, blah blah blah. I'm like, you do realize that sports, politics, life is all intertwined. Mm-hmm. You cannot separate any of it from anything else. It's all involved. Because, honestly, everything that happens in sports, first of all, when it comes to, we'll just say, civil rights, sports has always been ahead of the curve. Sports has led the way when it comes to civil rights, always. And will probably continue to do that. I say probably because all bets are off. And we can't possibly untether sports from just general society. It's such a big part of who we are. In general, the people who say stick to sports. Sports is my escape. They just disagree with the message that is being sent through sports. That's, in general, what I see. But I was legit thrown by that. I'm like, yeah, the accreditation, I get it. It's so Southern. If I'm North Carolina, and I'll just bring this back to football, and I don't see a day where North Carolina and NC State are in different leagues. I don't. For me, again, I don't see a day where North Carolina is out, but I think the Big Ten is a much better landing spot for North Carolina. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Look, North Carolina isn't easy. They're not winning games left and right in the ACC. So going to a league that is definitely better in the SEC or theoretically better in the Big Ten is going to be even more of a challenge. I just don't see that working out going to the Southeastern Conference if you want to win. Because, sure, I'd love to have LSU come in here and play North Carolina, but for the most part, probably get run out the stadium. I'd much rather have Illinois come in. Barry Svrluga, a News and Observer alum, now a sports columnist with the Washington Post, joins us on the Adam Gold Show. Thank you very much for the time, sir. I know there's a lot going on in the nation's capital, so let me just start with Terry McLaurin. How much of a problem right now is this for Washington with second-year quarterback and Jaden Daniels and all the momentum that they're carrying from last year to this year?
I'd say it's like a 6 out of 10 right now with the potential to be an 11 out of 10 by the end of camp. But I think, we've seen this across the NFL, and it's not an unusual negotiating tactic. The player really doesn't have a lot of leverage here. He is under contract for this year. He would like to be more fairly compensated, where he feels like he fits in the stratosphere of NFL wide receivers. It's pretty clear if you look at this deal that the Pittsburgh Steelers gave DK Metcalf, who they traded with Seattle for, like a 4-year, $132 million deal, which in the NFL is, of course, false and fake. It's actually guaranteed at 2 years and $60 million. But McLaurin is the same draft class as Metcalf. His stats and availability adds up to better than Metcalf. And if he's looking at, north of $33 million AAV, that puts them into the top 4 receivers in the league. And while Terry McLaurin is just the most upstanding citizen and most prepared player and has done everything that he's asked of in Washington, he's not a top 4 receiver in the league. Right. So it's easy to see where the impasse is because McLaurin can say, that team gave this dude that deal and I'm better than him. And the team can say, just because one team made a bad deal doesn't mean we have to. So we're still a long ways from the September 7th start of the season. Terry is the kind of guy that is going to be prepared. There is a benefit to having more reps in training camp with your quarterback, but it's not like it's last year when the guy was a rookie. They have 17 games plus the playoffs of rapport. So, again, I'd circle back and say it's about a 6 out of 10 of alert in D.C.
Barry Svrluga from the Washington Post is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I think the shock for me and maybe a lot of Washington fans is that because you alluded to one of the great citizens in the NFL, and he dealt with, 4, 5, 6 years of just like wasteland with the team. And then last year, a lot of the story was, man, everybody felt great because McLaurin had, seen the bottom, basically, and now it looks like they're on the rise. And it's almost a culture shock because, you didn't expect a player like McLaurin to hold out or hold in. But you said that the team has all the leverage. What's behind McLaurin? And doesn't that give McLaurin some leverage in this situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Terry has two things going for him. One, there's no ex-receiver or guy you're going to line up on the far boundary that's in Washington's camp that can hold a candle to him. Right. He is their most important target, and he knows that, and the team acknowledges that. I think that's, this entire thing, all the public statements have been, started with, look, we love Terry. Dan Quinn, the coach, has said that repeatedly because he's the one who has to face the media every day. Adam Peters, the general manager, who opened camp saying, we want to get something done. It's not that the team wants him to play out the final year of this deal. They'd like to get something done, but they'd like to get something done at a price that makes sense for them. The other thing that McLaurin has going for him is what I said initially and what you alluded to, the kind of model citizen thing. And while that is not quantifiable, it does matter in this situation, not just, it's not Adam Peters and Dan Quinn's fault that Terry McLaurin was drafted by Jay Gruden and Bruce Allen and then lived through the mayhem of Ron Rivera. And this is the first year that he will have in his career where he will start the season with the same quarterback as he had last year, which is kind of a stunning thing to say for somebody who's entering his sixth year. But if you talk to people around the league, there is a value on being the face of the franchise. Now, does that mean that he gets paid as much as Justin Jefferson? It doesn't. It shouldn't. But you should factor that in to some degree. I really think, there's going to be a meeting point where the guarantee comes up and then incentives are placed in. And I think because McLaurin, who hasn't missed a game since 2020, stays so prepared and is so in shape, he could bet on himself with some incentives that are beyond the second year of this deal because he thinks even though he turns 30 in September, he's coming off his best year with 13 touchdowns and fifth straight 1,000-yard season. Like, he thinks his best football is ahead of him, which not a lot of receivers can say as they enter their 30s.
Barry Svrluga joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I know you cover the Nash. You cover everything. And way back when I was at the University of Maryland, Thomas Boswell gave a lecture based on his book, How Life Imitates the World Series, which was a phenomenal read. And he came to, speaking to one of my English classes my senior year. That stuck with me. It actually allowed me to talk with him because I left him a long voicemail message reminding him of that when the Nationals moved to D.C. He went into the Hall of Fame. Tom, what was that like? What do you think that was like for him? What do you think that was? What was that like for Washington journalism to have him honored?
Well, it was just important and overdue. The voting for that award, it's one Career Excellence Award winner a year. It's voted on by the BBWAA. And, there's been a lot of legitimate candidates who've gotten in over the years. Boz is not a joiner. He's not a big hangout with the BBWAA members on the road guy. And he really concentrated on the work, which was groundbreaking. And for people of my generation, really defining. I wrote when he retired a few years ago that not a lot of people get to work alongside their heroes, and I definitely got to do that for 20 years with Boz. So the ceremony in Cooperstown was just awesome. They do the broadcaster and the writer at a theater outside of town the day before the player inductions now, so they kind of get their full due and don't feel bad about having a 25-minute speech that's delaying people to get to Ichiro. And he was soaring, and we were just thrilled for him. And, the other writers who helped us get this across the finish line, Jason Stark and Tim Kurchin and Dan Shaughnessy from the Boston Globe, we're all there and all thrilled. And then, that weekend is just super special. If you're an invited guest or you're covering it, the highlight is you get bussed from the hotel along the lake into town through the parade route before the Hall of Famers get there, and then you have a reception in the hall where the plaques are with all the living Hall of Famers. So, like, I'm sorry, George Brett, I elbowed you while I was reaching for some prosciutto. Wade Boggs, I am in line behind you for a beer. It seems like you're getting a few. Like that. Like it's just a treat. And Boz was soaring, and we were all thrilled to be there.
Oh man! All right, I've got literally like a minute, maybe a minute and a half. I'm going to ask you a 2-part question. A, does baseball need a salary cap? B, will it have one?
It's not something that I think the players should be as dug in on as they are. The other 3 major sports obviously have them in North America. Their players have gotten rich. Even if you look at the NHL, that salary cap is bumping up in a way that guys are going to be able to make more money than they have in the past. I do understand the idea that particularly in the NBA, there is a disparity between, the top guys making north of $50 million a year and even guys that are heavy rotation pieces making a fraction of that. But I think there's a way where a floor and a cap really probably becomes the best way to handle this. I wouldn't say that in a room with Max Scherzer and Bryce Harper because apparently they'd want to put their hand around my throat. But what it means, Adam, is I think we're really headed for no baseball for some period of time in 2027, and I hope the people who run the sport and play the sport understand that it's not in such a position that it can really withstand a prolonged shutdown.
Here's my response to that is I have a hard time seeing teams like the Pirates, A's, Rays spending to the floor. Because the floor is going to have to be. I understand that, but the floor is going to be $150 million.
Got to start there, something like that. I mean, it's a lot, but I think you're not going to get a cap without a floor.
Right.
I mean, that just doesn't seem possible.
Yeah. So with the amount of revenue that's in the game, to me the floor would have to be in the $150 million range, and I mean half the league right now is below $150 million in terms of at least it was last year. 2024 salaries. Half the league was below. Actually, half the league was below 170. Barry, I appreciate your time. Barry Svrluga, Washington Post. Love to do it again. Enjoy the rest of training camp.
Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it anytime.
You got it. Barry Svrluga here on the Adam Gold Show. Interesting perspective from somebody who covers baseball. That the players shouldn't be dug in. I understand the logic. But we talked to Elliot Johnson last week, and I asked him what would a salary cap do, and he said it would make the game more profitable for the owners. I think that's probably more true than anything else. All right, quick break. One-timers next.
From the heels.
Touchdown, Carolina.
To the canes.
She scores!
He covers it all. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Are you taking care of someone on Medicare? Navigating Medicare can be overwhelming. You're not alone. The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program can help you figure out what steps to take and when. SHIP counselors can answer your questions. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements. and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
Ask any college student. If it wasn't for the last minute, lots of assignments wouldn't get done. So if you haven't figured out your plan for college and how to pay for it yet, don't worry, you've still got time. And with the next NC scholarship, you can still get money to pay for most or all of your tuition. To apply, just fill out your FAFSA and you could get $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for public university, and possibly more. See how easy it is to apply at nextncscholarship.org.
Make this your best summer yet by having fun while staying active and engaged. AARP can help. Find AARP events near you by visiting aarp.org/local. That's aarp.org/local to find both in-person and virtual events. You can also learn more about living your best life by listening to AARP Without Limits, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Open the lid on a carton of Bluebell Homemade in the Shade, and you'll have it made, so to speak. It's a combination of our top-selling homemade vanilla ice cream with a swirl of rich chocolate fudge sauce. Enjoy an instant classic.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
When people put their feet under a table, it means more than just consuming food. Getting the restaurant back open, that meant to the community a lot of normalcy. The public health department checked the wells so that we knew where we could get water that was able to be used.
And it was neighbor helping neighbor, and I'm so proud to work in this little small county.
NC Public Health, everywhere, every day, everyone.
Voted best zoo in the nation, North Carolina Zoo and Botanical Gardens is centrally located in the heart of North Carolina. Bring your family to Asheboro for an affordable day trip or weekend excursion to connect with nature and make cherished memories. Discover towering giraffes, pouncing sandcats, and diving seabirds at the world's largest natural habitat zoo. Roam with rhinos on Zoofari or flutter by the exotic butterfly garden during your next visit. Explore more possibilities at nczoo.org.
This is Adam Gold.
I did love that Rod video with him, though, when he was trying to communicate.
Yeah, you speak hockey.
And he was like, it's okay, you don't need to know this, you know hockey. And I was like, oh, heartstrings. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria's on the ones and twos. Next hour, Darin Gantt from Panthers camp. At 1 o'clock, though, I will answer responses to my question, what's the good reason to not try and trade for Micah Parsons? Just using the Khalil Mack trade now 7 years ago as a guide. I can't think of any reasons to not try to get Micah Parsons. Anyway, we'll talk about that at 1 o'clock, unless it comes up in one-timers. I'm ready.
Well, first up, we on our YouTube stream, you can add us on Twitter or our YouTube stream. And this one from YouTube, from Chris, do you think Jimmy Horn Jr. will be an impact player for us / Carolina Panthers this year? Or is this all training camp hype that we're hearing?
Well, they're two separate things. I don't think it's training camp hype. I think he's a talented player, great speed. But I don't think he'll be an impact player for Carolina this year. And Carolina's got too many good options at wide receiver. Now, Horn may have some splash plays this year, and my understanding is that I think they're going to use him in terms of the kick return game. But, I mean, is he going to become great at that? I just think he needs to be dangerous, but I don't see him as an impact player for the Panthers, but that doesn't mean he won't be a good one.
All right, next up, sticking with the NFL, but the Commanders, like you were talking about earlier with Terry McLaurin, if he were to go to a different team, which team do you think he would go to or do best at if they're two different teams?
Ooh, I mean, in terms of where he could go, no clue, really. McLaurin's not going anywhere, though. Like, all of these, demand a trade, they're probably not going anywhere. So I think McLaurin stays in Washington, and I think he has another big year. I think Washington ultimately will pay him.
Along those same lines, so we saw last Friday that Micah Parsons came out with his Twitter statement that he is not a happy camper. Well, Jerry Jones is trying to make it seem, it's just a tiff in a relationship type thing. Yeah. So, do you see Micah Parsons not being a Cowboy next season? How did you feel about his statement?
I mean, no, again, I think Micah Parsons will be a Cowboy. I think ultimately Jerry Jones will pay him. But I don't understand why it's like this is a pattern. Everybody has to wait till the very end. We just pay this guy. Like, he's that good. All right, when we come back, why wouldn't the Panthers trade for him?
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Here's how you know the Bill Belichick hype is through the roof. At ACC Media Kickoff, Dabo Swinney, one of the most popular, famous coaches in the country, was walking around giving interviews, and almost no one was following him. That's because every media member was up at Bill Belichick's press conference hoping for just a few seconds of audio from the UNC coach.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday. The very first Tuesday.
New scratch-off tickets are available on the first Tuesday of every month.
Announcer said first Tuesday.
Brand new scratch-offs, brand new fun. Now from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Every first Tuesday. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166171 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time.
but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or 2 Bird Dog Combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
In World War I, American fighter pilots covering a plane's rear position coined the phrase, "I've got your six," to mean I've got your back. Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org using the number 6.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Turner to center. Adams back at the wall. It's good! Cubs win! What a moment for Justin Turner. First pitch he sees, he delivers the game winner.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria on the ones and twos.
Thanks, Rusty. Justin Turner.
Walk-off
homer for the Cubs yesterday. Let's go, 40-year-old Justin Turner. Yeah, sorry.
It's amazing.
I know. It's fantastic.
Basically, the Mets, he is an enormous success story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was a journeyman when he went to the Mets. Then the Mets released him. I'm pretty sure they just outright released him. Or maybe he was a very minor trade where he ends up with the Dodgers and then becomes a stud.
Yeah.
Incredible. Anyway, good for him. Darin Gantt's going to join us, Panthers.com. We're going to ask the old guy questions coming up in about a little less than 20 minutes from now. Thanks to Barry Svrluga last hour. Konata Edwards will join us later on. Luka Doncic signed a big contract. Has anybody seen what's left of Luka Doncic?
It's not as much of him.
Holy mackerel.
Mm-hmm.
The season didn't end that long ago.
I know. He's a new person.
He's 2/3 of a person.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he melted, literally.
So, I don't know. Could the Lakers be good? I have no idea. I think LeBron is probably going to be good. But if Luka is in shape, well, we'll talk about that with Konata Edwards. Also, Hornets stuff, and also get his he's in Charlotte, so we'll take his pulse of the Panthers. Anyway, that's coming up a little bit later on. Right now, and this will be the second run-through of the news of the day. A couple of very quick things. Major League Baseball, Bristol Motor Speedway, 91,000, needed a second day. I thought they were going to finish the game under caution.
I see what you did there.
They don't do that anymore, do they?
No.
It's like green, white, checker.
Yeah,
I thought maybe they do that like Saturday night. Just finish it in one inning.
Maybe, yeah.
Sorry, we got to go.
Yeah, time's running out.
I thought about tweeting that out, and then I didn't did they do that? I don't even know. I just left it alone. NFL Players Association hired a interim who, unlike the last guy, Lloyd Howell, actually has extensive background in labor law. What a shock. I have no idea how the Players Association hired Lloyd Howell in the first place. No clue how they did that. This new guy basically, and again, it's just an interim, but I would be stunned if they did not try to make him the permanent, if that's even a word. I mean, it's a word, but if that even applies here, because this guy did very good work for AFTRA SAG with Hollywood writers and performers and whatnot, because that is a very, very big union shop. So NFL Player Association has, by a million miles, the weakest union. And it's not that these people are not good at their job or whatever. It's what they've got is the biggest range of constituents that you could have in any union. Because you've got, at one end of the spectrum, you've got the quarterbacks, and now, some of the defensive ends and whatnot earning $40 million a year. Some of the wide receivers getting close to that. But like 70% of your league needs the paycheck. And this is not disparaging. About 70% of the league knows that their careers are short. They're not making a ton of money relative to the league, and their careers are short, so they can't afford to give up, 20% of their career earnings. They just can't. So it'll be interesting to follow how the new CBAs, it's not going to be, I don't think they signed a long one. So they're coming up for negotiation again fairly soon. Anyway, I'm curious to see how that's going to play out, but good for the NFLPA. All right, now, to my question from earlier, should the Panthers be interested in trading for Micah Parsons? They list him on Pro Football Reference as an outside linebacker, but his position is really whatever. He is a force on the defensive side of the ball.
It's like Adam Thielen. He's multiple things.
Okay. That also, I'm getting thrown today by things. Like TJ Watt is a defensive end, but really, he's whatever he wants to be for Pittsburgh. Now, he's been in the league a little longer than Micah Parsons. But Parsons is a disruptive, unstoppable force to me on the defensive side. Rookie of the year. I think he was he second in the voting for Defensive Player of the Year? Yeah, second in the voting, third in the voting, second. His first 3 years in the league. Second, and third in Defensive Player of the Year voting. He was the Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's been a first-team All-NFL twice. 4-time Pro Bowler. Anyway, contract dispute with Dallas, and he has demanded a trade. It ain't going to happen. But if I'm the Panthers, I can't come up with a good reason why they shouldn't try to trade for him. The biggest example that I could come up with, and Micah Parsons is better today than Khalil Mack was when the Raiders traded him to the Bears. Now, I'm not saying Mack wasn't great. Mack was. In fact, famously, John Gruden, who was the head coach of the Raiders at the time, complained after trading him like 4 weeks into the season. He complained that they didn't have a pass rush. I'm like, you had one, and you traded it. So Micah Parsons to me is it's like one of one. He's that good in the NFL, and he's still young. This is year 5 for him. Theoretically, you're going to get 3-4 more years of him at a pretty high level. And who knows if it goes longer than that. Barring injury, of course, but whatever. Any player could get hurt. The cost for the Bears to acquire Khalil Mack was basically 2 first-round picks. There were the Bears threw in a 3rd and a 6th, and the Raiders threw in a 2nd and a 7th. They sort of cancel each other out. So it was Mac for 2 first-round picks. If you're the Panthers, why wouldn't you trade 2 first-round picks to Dallas? Offer this, 2 first-round picks for Dallas for Micah Parsons. So I asked this question, and the responses were, all over the place, to be honest. Alex, because they just got out of the hole they dug themselves to get Bryce, and they're likely more than one player away from getting a good contending team. That is true. But Micah Parsons is different. I agree. They should have never. I'm Team Bryce, but I argued from the very beginning that trading from 9 to 1 to get Bryce Young, who, while I still think will be a really good NFL quarterback, it was still a roll of the dice. Any of the quarterbacks that year were a roll of the dice.
Yeah, you never know.
And I would not have traded from 9 to 1. I would have just stuck at 9. And if a quarterback that I liked fell to 9, I would have done it then. That's not what happened. Water under the bridge, so to speak. But Micah Parsons is plug-and-play disruptive. He would make Carolina's defense today very good because of how you must account for him. It becomes a math problem, just like NFL teams started to incorporate more zone read option with quarterbacks who are good at it, because it became a math problem that we now have to account for the quarterback to run, like with design plays, not just in scrambles. It becomes more difficult to stop the running game. Well, you're going to have multiple players concentrate on Micah Parsons, which should allow other defensive players to get better. And again, you're talking about putting arguably the best in the league on your defense. So, yes, you just got sort of, I don't even know if they're all the way back, because it's not just the Bryce deal. They made several other trades that were just as bad as that. Trading a second-round pick for Sam Darnold, trading a second. Those deals were bad. I just don't think 2 first-round picks for Micah Parsons is that big of a reach for somebody who is as good as they are. Reese says Carolina could kick the can down the road cap-wise, because I said, other than salary cap, why wouldn't they do it? Again, he says if Parsons is really available, it's not really. They're not going to trade him. But this is just a thought exercise. Why wouldn't Carolina try? And I'm not saying they're not. If I were them, I would be trying.
Yeah.
Elijah, if Bryce plays like poop this year, what do they do at quarterback without their picks? They can't afford Parsons with an unknown at the most important position. If we knew for a fact that Bryce was at least serviceable, it would be a little easier. Well, I understand that point. I think we're beyond Bryce being poop. I think Bryce is going to be fine. I would argue this, that unless you have the first overall pick, and the Panthers had the first overall pick, it's hard to argue this because of the hypothetical. There's always a risk, unless you are bringing in a can't-miss quarterback. And I think as we saw last year, Caleb Williams wasn't a can't-miss. It's a lottery ticket. Trevor Lawrence wasn't a can't-miss. I don't even think Trevor Lawrence is all that good.
No.
I just think he's big.
Great hair.
It does, well, yeah.
Likes Waffle House.
Like a Harlequin romance.
Herbal
good
Essence
here.
commercial.
Right. Bunch of Jerks says they should go for it. Mark says, yes, shoot your shot. But on the heels of the Young trade, how far to the future do they have to access the necessary draft capital to make that happen? I think in order to get Micah Parsons, those draft picks would have to be next year and the year after. I'd still do it. Last time, this is from Germs, love it. Last time the Panthers traded 2 first-round picks for a player, it kind of set the franchise back a bit. I don't know if they're talking about Bryce Young, because it was also Moore, the wide receiver, or if he's talking about Sean Gilbert, who was back in the turn of the century. They engineered a trade with Washington that sent 2 first-round picks to our neighbors to the north for Sean Gilbert, who was not quite the Sean Gilbert they thought they were getting.
Yeah. Well, Joey on YouTube, he just said if Micah was in the draft this year, he would go number 1. Think about it that way.
Oh yeah, he'd go.
He for sure would.
He'd go earlier than 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is that kind of player. I think the only thing that separates Micah Parsons from being a Lawrence Taylor type is that Lawrence Taylor played with an uncommon anger. Like, he hated everybody wearing the other uniform. He just played in a rage. Now, he wasn't dirty or anything like that, but he just played with that kind of ferocity. And you don't see anybody play that way. Parsons is just awesome. I'd do it. But again, I don't think Dallas is trading him. I think Jerry just likes the attention.
I know. Man, could you imagine how much Chris Canty would be on the Panther bandwagon
if
we had Micah Parsons?
Canty would move to Charlotte.
He would.
All right, Darin Gantt, Panthers.com. We're going to ask the old guy. Maybe he'll have something creative in response to that question next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Get ready.
Concepcion touchdown, 13 yards. NC State leads North Carolina with 8:01 to play.
College football kicks off August 23rd.
Jones a first down and more. 10-5. They've tied the game.
Bully ball by the Duke offense.
Down the far sideline. Caught at the 10. The 5. Touchdown, Carolina.
On 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
We have been given a midsummer treat. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here from 99.9 The Fan for Law Tigers, and Mother Nature has decided to tease us with these pre-fall temps, which just so happens to be my favorite time of the year to ride. And maybe with it not being so hot outside, you think, well, that's one less thing I gotta worry about melting under my gear. But one thing you should definitely never sleep on is the drivers you share the road with. So many people might be distracted. If a random rain shower pops up, it could cause poor visibility. And then sometimes it's just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But if you're ever in an accident on your motorcycle, make sure to call my friends at Law Tigers first before calling your insurance company. At Law Tigers, they're riders too, so they get it. They know the value of your bike, your gear, the investment that you've made, and what it's like to go through an accident. Case evaluations are always free, and you're not going to pay a dime until your case is settled. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
For projects big or small, play it safe when you plan on digging and call or click 811 3 working days before you dig. 811 is the first step to getting your buried underground utilities like gas, electric, or internet lines located. Having these lines marked before digging helps keep you, your family, and your neighborhood safe. 811 is fast, free, and it's the law. So don't forget to make the call to 811. Sponsored by North Carolina 811 and the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters in cooperation with the station.
Summer fun's just begun. Score the North Carolina Courage's Courageously Cool ticket offer. Buy 2 or more tickets to the August 2nd or 16th match and get $25 in Courage cash. Grab yours now at tickets.nccourage.com.
Kids across America are going to school hungry every day. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. This is Adam Gold.
There will be tushes pushed in the NFL in 2025.
Push and tushes.
There you go.
Happy Hump Day!
That's brilliant.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. I realize it's still just the beginning of August, but as I saw from our friend Darin Gantt, Panthers.com on Twitter, fake fall has descended upon us, at least for a few days. I trust you have enjoyed fake fall so far, sir.
Fake fall is sublime. If you have the opportunity to experience it in the Carolinas, you are among the most fortunate 1% of every human being who's ever lived. It's like for a moment out there, it's normal. It's not 1,000,000 degrees with a dew point about 74, 75. You can actually move around without collapsing into a puddle of your own flop sweat.
It was when I got up, not only this morning, but yesterday morning, and to a slightly lesser extent Saturday morning, it was long sleeves weather when I'm like, wow, like the coffee, like you needed, you held the mug with 2 hands just to get a little extra warmth into your body. All right, so FanFest was Saturday. Walk me through that. There's a lot of excitement going into this season. Fans are always excited about the season. But what have you noticed in terms of a change around this team from last year to this year?
Well, I think, the roster is better, deeper, and more accomplished. I mean, they spent the last 2 off seasons spending much money in free agency, upgrading through the draft at a couple of key spots. But it's a legitimate NFL roster at a lot of spots right now. And so those guys, the belief they have and kind of the vibes coming out of camp, you hear a lot of optimism. You hear optimism in every camp this time of year. But those guys are convinced that, they've made strides to the point where they're going to be competitive. I think it's reasonable for them to believe, based on the second half of last year, you add a first-round receiver in Teteroa McMillan who can catch it anywhere on the property.
Right.
The guy's got a wingspan and he's got hands. So everything is in the catch radius for him. And, so it's reasonable for that offense to think they should be a little bit better. I mean, they were already a really good offensive line, and they kept everybody, brought everybody back. They were already a good running attack, and they added a 1,000-yard rusher in Rico Dowdle to back up Chuba Hubbard. So I think it's fair for those guys on that side of the ball to, react that way. And then when you look at what they did on defense, you go out in free agency, spend a bunch of money on Bobby Brown, Turk Wharton to make that line more stable. You got a Derek Brown coming back. You go sign Pat Jones and draft a couple of pass rushers. And then you look around, it's like, hey, we got some dudes over here. So they're feeling okay about things right now.
Darin Gantt, Panthers.com, at Darin Gantt on Twitter. We'll ask the old guy. I'm going to ask the old guy a hypothetical question that we know is never going to happen, but I'm going to ask it of you anyway.
We love those. Those are the best kind.
Absolutely.
The kind without answers.
Yeah. We'll have answers, but it's probably not going to matter. You mentioned Teterow and McMillan.
Yep.
Xavier Legette, I know, by all accounts, has taken a step forward. And this wide receiver core, and I mean, I hate to keep talking about the same thing, but 2 years ago, it was the worst wide receiver core that I had seen in professional football. And now they're going to struggle to, figure out who they're going to have to let go unless they want to keep 7. So walk me through this. Jimmy Horn has been good. Adam Thielen is Adam Thielen. Hunter Renfrow is like the old Hunter Renfrow, everything that we have heard. What is your assessment of that position?
Well, you have accurately assessed it, Adam. It is deep and it is good. And, it's to the point where there are a couple other dudes you got to consider, too. I mean, prior to an injury that, forced him off the roster the other week, Dan Jacinto is a big special teams guy who they had some hope for. Bryson Tremaine kind of fills that spot now as that guy people haven't heard of, but's got a decent shot of making this roster just because somebody's got to run down kicks.
Right.
And he is a big body. He's been on Washington's practice squad in the past couple of years, looked really good in camp. So throw another log on that fire. I mean, they've just got dudes stacked up. I mean, I think I'm hesitant to declare anything this time of year because they hadn't even played the first preseason game yet. But I could see them keeping 7. I could see them, having some hard choices to make when it comes to the Hunter Renfrows, David Moore, Jimmy Horns, because if you're not XL, Teterow, or Adam Thielen, you better play teams. And you better contribute some other way on this roster. And I think it's reasonable to think Jimmy Horn could be returning punts. I think it's reasonable to think that Hunter Renfrow's done enough to justify his spot here. So we'll see. A lot of moving parts, but that's a much better problem to have than going out and signing some of the receivers who are out there on the street. I mean, I've seen DJ Chark and Chosen Anderson's name pop up in the last couple of days, and when you think about where they are and where they were, that ain't a bad place to be.
No doubt about it. Darin Gantt is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. You mentioned we haven't even gotten to the first preseason game. A lot has changed in the mind of Dave Canales because last year, Bryce Young didn't see the field until preseason game number 3. He says he expects the starters to play in games 1 and 2, which I think is great. I think it should have happened last year regardless. What's your read on that? Why do you think he's making this change?
Well, I think because he did it one way last year and they didn't start so well. So let's do the other thing now. I mean, I think that's a natural human reaction. I think it shows and also a maturity of Dave Canales. I mean, how many coaches have you known in your life? You and I have done this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Who are like, this is the way I football, and I am going to do it my way, and they will adapt to my way. By golly. And, Dave Canales looked at what he did last year. It didn't work out so great, so he does the other thing. I think that's a positive sign rather than a negative. I am always a little hesitant to put too much into preseason snaps because, I am a little bit of a catastrophist sometimes, frankly. It's always like, what could possibly go wrong? And if somebody gets hurt in preseason, that'll probably cause another reflex and change the way you think. But I just think they wanted to see them get some reps, see them work the operation. I mean, that's the That's the key. It's more than whatever they do. We joked last summer about the drive in Buffalo and how good they looked in that one drive Bryce and the offense played in preseason. But that didn't carry over. So I think they're just going to tweak some things. I mean, they're going to continue to do that. They've got young guys. They need to get some reps. I wouldn't expect we're going to see a lot of Taylor Moton or Derek Brown or cats like that in the preseason, or maybe even Adam Thielen from that standpoint. But, they've got some young dudes who need to run around and do the thing a little bit before the season starts.
Yeah, I just think that it's hard to replicate in practice, even the joint scrimmages. It's hard to replicate the game in those controlled environments that even if you just get the starters A series, 2 series, then I just don't think you can – it's just not the same. So, but I'm saying this as somebody who's never played.
There's a number of ways to do this. Pat Mahomes played 20 snaps in a preseason game last year, and he did okay in the regular season. Jalen Hurts didn't play a single snap in the preseason. Worked out okay for him. So, there's no one true way to skin a cat, even if skinning a cat's a thing you think should happen. And frankly, that sounds cruel. So why would you?
Darin Gantt, Panthers.com, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, I'm going to ask the old guy. Given the fact that Micah Parsons has asked or demanded a trade.
Oh, stop it.
Why,
Don't do this.
Why shouldn't the Panthers
be better than this?
No, I'm not better.
No. I was just saying, finally, they seem to be in a place where they're progressing normally. People talk about patiently building and having a plan, and they seem to be doing that. You're like the meme of the dude turning around looking at the other girl while his girlfriend's looking at him like, what are you doing? They've finally gotten to this place where Dan Morgan and Dave Canales are trying to build this along a sensible platform, and the first shiny object that comes along, you're like, plan? What plan? Let's
but
trade
this
all
is
our
not
first-round picks and Derek Brown and XL and whatever, Chuba Hubbard, whatever the Cowboys want.
No, it wouldn't be that.
Instead.
I wouldn't do what Jimmy Johnson got for Herschel Walker, but I wouldn't have a problem with 2 first-round picks for Micah Parsons.
Boy, oh boy, I would, because then you got to pay somebody $55 or $60 million, and then you don't have first-round picks. What if somebody gets hurt? I don't know, man. I just think where they are in the course of building this team out and the way they've done it. That seems like counter to everything Dan Morgan and Brant Tillis and Dave Canales have done in the last couple of years. And I think it's a sign of maturity of the fan base that my replies haven't been blown up with people suggesting such thing. I get it. Listen, Micah Parsons is a great player. Anybody that wants out of their team who's really good at their job, fans are going to fan. So get after it. But I just think, to me, it's not sound business to – I'm old enough to remember Sean Gilbert, all right?
Right.
And I think back over the years when Champ Bailey and LeVar Arrington on this roster would have made more of a difference than Sean Gilbert did. So, I just tend to say when you got to give up a bunch of picks and then pay a guy a bunch of money, that's just a bridge too far for me. There are teams for whom – when the Buffalo Bills go out and make moves like this, they go out and get them a Von Miller, that kind of stuff. That makes sense for teams in that position. I don't know if the Carolina Panthers are necessarily one player away from a Super Bowl, so I would hate – if I were them, I would hate to give up a bunch of future capital to do something like that right now.
See, that's why we asked the old guy. So we can I'm also an old guy, but you're the old guy.
You weren't expecting a Champ Bailey reference today, were you?
No, it's fine. I've already been thrown off by I was talking about college football earlier, and our guest brought up red states versus blue states, and I was like, wow, I just was not ready for that, and it just knocked me into a different mindset. Darin Gantt is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, we'll close on Bryce Young.
Wait a minute. I thought we were going to close on a memorial segment honoring the great young men's song.
We are going to mention that. We are absolutely going to mention that.
Okay.
Bryce closed the year on such a high. what are your thoughts as we are entering this preseason into the season? Is this a pick up where you left off? Because I have struggled with assigning proper value to end of season because there's not no pressure, but it's different pressure. What kind of value do you assign to what we saw at the end and what we can expect going forward?
How about if we say some? How about if everything doesn't have to be binary? What if we say some importance? I mean, Michael Penix in Atlanta was trying to prove himself. The Falcons were in a playoff race in that finale, and when Bryce put 5 touchdowns on them. I like the idea of 10 touchdowns, no turnovers, final 3 weeks. That's not everything, but it's not nothing either.
Right, no.
So I think it's fair for them to feel good about where he is. Bryce is just so much more comfortable. I think naturally as a human being. He just turned 24 the other day, had a birthday. I offered him the gift of hydration because I felt like that was the most valuable thing I could offer him on a hot day, and I happen to be carrying a free bottle of water. But Bryce is in a good place. He's, feeling pretty good, and he should, because they've done all the things a quarterback wants. I mean, when you think about what does a quarterback need? He needs a running game, needs to be protected. They kept their top 9 offensive linemen in snaps played last year and went out and added Rico Dowdle, like I mentioned earlier. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yep.
So Bryce in a good place. They got him a first-round wide receiver, a top 10 pick who can catch it anywhere on the field. I would think he's in a pretty good place. He's in a position to succeed, which is all you want if you're a quarterback.
All right, final thing for Darin Gantt. I thought of you late May, as Spurs was defeating Manchester United in the FA Cup final, which put Spurs into in the Europa final. Europa.
A continental championship,
That's right,
sir.
They won the B flight in Europe, and it puts them in Champions League. But I thought of you because as a Spurs fan, the fact is that Tottenham had not won a title, not won a trophy in 17 years, and now a legend of the club, Youngmin's son, is going to LAFC. So it's got to be bittersweet, although you'll be able to watch him more. Or not.
I don't know that I'll watch it. I don't know that I'll watch him more.
Or not.
I don't know that it's possible or not. No, he is absolutely. I was thinking about this weekend. I think along with Joey Votto, he might be my favorite athlete, period, ever, or at least of the last 25, 30 years. I mean, just because the joy he played with. I've always said Sonny is like joy distilled because you see the way players react to him on the field. He's always doing the little heart thing when he scores goal. Yeah, I mean, he's just always so happy, and I want the best for him. And it's going to be hard to not see him. But sports, as the business continues to move along, I am not going to cry because it's over. I'm going to smile because it happened. Because, I mean, listen, I'm standing here wearing a Human Son T-shirt in Charlotte, North Carolina today, and he's just super cool, and I'm always going to appreciate what he did for the club. That scene in May that you mentioned, him lifting a trophy, something every Spurs fan's going to remember for a long, long time.
And it didn't happen with Harry Kane, as great as he was, but it did happen.
True? Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't even remember who that is.
Wow. Darin Gantt, Panthers.com. We asked the old guy, and he shot down my question. That was great. Sir, I'll talk to you very soon. Enjoy fake fall.
There you go. Sounds good. I'm going to enjoy some fake football Friday night. Panthers, Browns, Bank of America Stadium. See you there.
You got it. Darin Gantt, at Darin Gantt, with 2 T's for extra talent. Big Spurs fan. Hey, good, but soccer fans all over the place. Especially with – it's too bad he didn't go to Charlotte FC, but he went to LAFC. I brought up with Barry Svrluga earlier the idea of a – Major League Baseball salary cap. I don't think they'll get one. I think baseball's union is too strong, but I do think that there will be maybe further revenue sharing. I also think that there should be, I'm not going to get into the minutia of the collective bargaining agreement. I do think that teams should have to use the money they get from revenue sharing to build out the Major League roster. Set that aside. I'll tell you what a league that doesn't need a cap, Major League Soccer doesn't need a salary cap. I think Major League Soccer is being held back by a salary cap. I think you should be able to spend, if you own a team in Major League, because right now, their whole goal is to have balance throughout the league. You know what they need? They need some clubs to kick ass. They need dominance in that league. And if you get an owner who wants to spend money on his squad, should be doing it. Why do we put governors on teams, on clubs that might want to spend a lot of money? Let him do it. If David Tepper wants to open up his wallet and bring in big-time players, should be allowed to do that.
Yeah, in between bringing in all the music. You should do that.
He could claim to have invented soccer in North Carolina.
Right. Fantastic.
Unbelievable. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We will stretch, and we will place bets. Over the weekend, we lost a legend. And there is some connection to radio. Next.
Talking sports so you don't have to pretend to know stuff. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
As the health director in Haywood County and a nurse here in North Carolina, I can tell you that the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline saves lives.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available.
988 Lifeline counselors are ready 24/7 to speak with you, help you cope, and get you connected to the support that is right for you.
988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Call, text, or chat 988 24/7. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
Turning 65 soon? Navigating Medicare can be overwhelming and confusing, but you're not alone. The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program can help. SHIP counselors can help you understand Medicare benefits to make your best choices. Visit ncship.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
Ask any college student. If it wasn't for the last minute, lots of assignments wouldn't get done. So if you haven't figured out your plan for college and how to pay for it yet, don't worry, you've still got time. And with the next NC scholarship, you can still get money to pay for most or all of your tuition. To apply, just fill out your FAFSA and you could get $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for public university, and possibly more. See how easy it is to apply at nextncscholarship.org.
Make this your best summer yet by having fun while staying active and engaged. AARP can help. Find AARP events near you by visiting aarp.org/local. That's aarp.org/local to find both in-person and virtual events. You can also learn more about living your best life by listening to AARP Without Limits, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Open the lid on a carton of Bluebell Homemade in the Shade, and you'll have it made, so to speak. It's a combination of our top-selling homemade vanilla ice cream with a swirl of rich chocolate fudge sauce. Enjoy an instant classic.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
We had to exit the home pretty quickly because of how quickly the water came in. It was just really vital to me whenever all the public service announcements were going out, that we needed to get our water tested.
We need to, get in the field and start helping people disinfect their water supplies.
It's really critical to their health to be able to have that safe drinking water.
They were reaching out to me to make sure that I knew that there were resources available.
NC Public Health, everywhere, every day, everyone.
This is Adam Gold.
While I'm watching Colombia, Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
That was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that.
The Adam Gold Show.
Oh, man. It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria's on the ones and twos. You can watch us on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan. There'll be a best of podcast when this whole thing is over. Actually, some might already be out.
Yep. We've got Brian Murphy already up there, and we have Barry up there from earlier. Darin Gantt should be up there in a minute or two.
Unbelievable. So efficient.
I tried.
The entertainment world lost a legend yesterday. Lonnie Anderson passed away a couple of days short of her 80th birthday. I think she battled cancer. Not exactly sure the cause of her passing, but that show, WKRP in Cincinnati, for those people who are, I guess, around my age, ahead of its time is probably not right. It actually was not a huge show ratings-wise, and it was probably more popular in reruns than it was in first runs. She, of course, played the receptionist at a radio station, WKRP, which was theoretically a rock and roll station, but, of course, they had Les Nessman, the news guy, who was maybe the real hit of the show. And Mr. Carlson, the owner, it's just such a great show. As what did he say? As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly when they dropped turkeys from the helicopter in a giveaway.
Yeah.
My gosh, what a show. Anyway, she was a receptionist. Lonnie Anderson passed away on yesterday at age 79. So that's what I got.
Yeah.
We should stretch.
Well, I know that we've been talking a lot about football season starting up, so one familiar thing that people will recognize as soon as Sunday Night Football happens for the first time this season on September 7th, Carrie Underwood. She's back for her 13th year on Sunday Night Football, so...
All right, well,
there you go.
I'm not going to complain.
If you're a big Carrie Underwood fan and you like when she sings, which I feel like last season I read, this was another seventh inning stretch type story, I read that she does every single intro in one day. It takes like 5 hours, and she just changes out and does like different matchups and does it just all in one day. Gets paid for one swoop. I'm like, hey, that's a good day's work.
5 hours?
Yeah.
Did you say what she got? What she gets for that?
I'd have to look it up. I know that I read. Yeah, I know that I had read it last year, but I can't remember. It's just a lot. It's just rich people getting richer.
Yes.
It's like, some crazy amount for her 5 hours. So good for her, I guess. But it's going to be against Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. So that's going to be our Sunday night football kickoff, September 7th. I'm excited for that part at least.
Ravens, Bills, hell yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for that one.
I almost put myself in violation right there. But yeah, that's a heck of a Sunday night game to open the season with.
I know, exactly. So I'm at least excited for that one. Now, one thing I'm not excited about, I was reading this article and it's a little terrifying because I don't know if you remember back around the pandemic when we had murder hornets.
Yes, I do, yes.
Okay. Well, this kind of made me think of that situation because the Department of Energy in South Carolina talked about some radioactive wasps.
What?
And, it's a nuclear facility in South Carolina.
Okay.
Savannah River site is across the border of Augusta, Georgia, and I guess there was some wasp nest on July 3rd that they tested, and the whole nest was radioactive. So they say we shouldn't be concerned because the amount of radiation, I guess, is not enough to cause some problems. However, of course, radioactive wasps is never a good thing.
No.
So,
radioactive wasps.
So, a local paper did say, I don't trust it though. They said no actual wasps were found in the nest. However, does that just mean they're already on the loose? So that's the real concern is where are they? Because they were once there. So, yeah. And in South Carolina is close enough for me to think about it. Because I don't know how long it takes them to fly. But, yeah.
How much ground?
Yeah.
Can the wasps cover?
I know. I don't really want to find that out. So let's hope we don't hear that in North Carolina. One thing I also did like to hear, this is kind of a depressing one. I did not mean for this, but these are the stories that are trending here lately because a new study found that we are just breathing in all kind of microplastics all day, all the time. And they're literally saying that we do this every single day. 3 to 4 per breath has little microplastics. And
really?
They say car cabins, which is great for people like me who basically live in my car commuting all the time. Car cabins have 4 times the number of particles in our homes.
Sure they do.
So that's awesome. So they say that adults roughly inhale 68,000 microplastics indoors per day. So not even counting if you got to travel somewhere. Oh, woof. But that's okay. It's okay because they say the bright side of it all is that basically microplastics are everywhere. So it's unavoidable.
Yeah. I mean, we drive.
Yeah. So
next thing they're going to come up with is driving.
Yeah.
Causes, is hazardous to your health, which, honestly,
it is.
It might be.
My blood pressure.
Exactly.
It's gonna, yeah. So that doesn't help anything. But yeah, so it's these microplastics. If you are curious as to what they're referencing, it says that they are tiny little bits of plastic that carry toxins. So, just a normal day
Gotcha.
in the world. It could cause inflammation, hormone issues, and even cancer, which, our foods do too. So we're it's not trying to be negative, but yeah, if you're worried about it, don't be, because there's really nothing we can do about it. But that's okay, because you know what we can do things about? Make great bets.
Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
I'm not sure I made any good ones on Friday.
I'll tell you what, one of these days I'll actually take my own advice when it comes to MMA bets because
oh, really?
I had a few people ask me on Saturday, hey, what's your best bets? Went 3 for 3, and I put not one penny on any of them.
Really?
But somebody else did and won them money, so good for you. But yeah, no, so we'll see eventually. Maybe. I don't know, but today, all baseball.
All
so,
right.
Starting things off, Minnesota Twins. They're in Detroit taking on the Tigers. I'm going to pick the Twins to be the on-the-road guys here, winners. So they're underdogs, but plus 170. Why not?
they traded like half of their roster.
Maybe I should.
It was bizarre what they did at the trade deadline. And they're also up for sale. They didn't trade their best players for the most part. But, they're finally going to sell that team. All right, I'm also starting with Major League Baseball. Kansas City is in Boston. Give me the Royals to win under 9.5 runs. That is plus 315.
Nice. Well, along the same lines as my first one, I'm going to take an at-home underdog because the Milwaukee Brewers are in Atlanta taking on the Braves, but I know we have a lot of Braves fans here that listen, so I'm rooting for you guys. Plus 120 just for the Braves to win at home.
All right.
Why not? And I want the Brewers to lose.
I'm going to give you a Panthers bet right now.
Whoa.
Yes.
Super Bowl.
No. Panthers are hosting the Browns. I guess it's Friday night. We're not here Friday, so I'm going to give it to you now. Panthers -3, under 34.5. And that is, what do I have? They won't let you parlay on FanDuel. They won't let you parlay a preseason game.
Oh, what?
Get out of here.
I know.
It's like plus 240.
You can come up with whatever you want if they don't have it. I want it to be plus 85,000. So
I'll just make it up. There you go.
Yeah. So, and then we got my Cubs playing at home tonight against the Cincinnati Reds. Speaking of Cincinnati, got to go with my Cubs. Oh, please, let's win at home. And I'm going to go with the under 7 because, they won a game by 1 run the first series, so why not? We'll go Cubs, under 7, plus 190.
All right, the Dallas Wings are playing at the New York Liberty in WNBA tonight. Liberty is great. Dallas, not so good. But Dallas does have Paige Beckers, and I've got Beckers to go for 30 or more points. And it's plus 1,200. Paige Beckers over 30 points at plus 1,200 tonight. All right, when we get to the Wall of Sound, you've got Jerry Jones. You've got a bunch of stuff from the Panthers, including Dave Canales, Jimmy Horn Jr. Will the Cowboys trade Micah Parsons? Look, the answer to that is no. Because none of these players really ever gets traded unless you're kind of crazy and you're John Gruden and you trade Khalil Mack. I did posit the hypothetical question earlier. If you were the Panthers, why wouldn't you at least try? Darin Gantt did not like that I posited that. He was not a fan of that question. Anyway, all of that in the Wall of Sound next.
Talking sports so you don't have to pretend to know stuff. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Here's how you know the Bill Belichick hype is through the roof. At ACC Media Kickoff, Dabo Swinney, one of the most popular, famous coaches in the country, was walking around giving interviews, and almost no one was following him. That's because every media member was up at Bill Belichick's press conference hoping for just a few seconds of audio from the UNC coach.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Eat up, buddy. It's almost time for school.
You take charge of your home. You take charge of your work. Don't forget to take charge of your gut health too with Nature Made probiotics. Nature Made has clinically studied probiotics that work with your digestive tract's natural bacteria, so you won't miss a beat in your daily routine. Find us in the vitamin aisle. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
It's Bo time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone, available for a limited time. It's Bo time.
There's no time like Bo time.
but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or 2 Bird Dog Combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166171 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The next disaster is coming. Make a plan. Keep extra medication on hand. Make copies of important documents. Stay informed and be ready. Learn more at americares.org/send-us-in.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Respectfully, Washington, you were a dumpster fire for years. You were a laughingstock. The only thing good about your organization was that young man. Every year he did it, year after year after year, for like 5 or 6 years with disaster all around you. You were the only reason why anyone spoke somewhat positively about your organization. If you don't have them, you erase everything that you did last year. Everything that you did, and I'm being respectful to Dan Quinn and Adam Peters and what they did last year. You need him.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. That was Dan Orlovsky from ESPN talking about the need to get things settled with Terry McLaurin, wide receiver. We talked about that earlier with Barry Svrluga. And he did say that the team has the leverage. The teams always have the most leverage unless the player is really willing to sit out and not get paid. Because all you can do as a player, especially when you have a contract, is to withhold your services. What is Washington if you eliminate Terry McLaurin from the equation? I mean, they might be okay. They might just figure it out. I mean, at the same time, he could run one play and be hurt and be done for the year. That's the risk you take in the NFL. That's why there are no guaranteed contracts. There are guarantees, but there are no fully guaranteed deals. But McLaurin, at least for the next couple of years, I think Barry brought up DK Metcalf's contract, which is, for the most part, a 2-year, $60 million deal. Don't get completely blown out of the water by the overall numbers, because the guarantees take it to about 2 years, $60 million. Why can't the Panthers? Why can't the Commandos do that? like just come a little bit closer to where it needs to be? And it shouldn't even have anything to do with whether or not Terry McLaurin was a good soldier, a good citizen, a great teammate, except that that's got to be worth something too, right? I would have no problem if any football player was super selfish, because your window is tiny, tiny. And it is the most violent of games. But I think Washington needs to pay him. I don't know. I think they're going to take a slight step back anyway this year. But I still think they're a playoff team as long as they pay him. But we got 4 pretty significant holdouts in the NFL. You've got McLaurin in Washington, Micah Parsons in Dallas, Trey Hendrickson in Cincinnati. That's probably not going to get done. And you've got, who is it? The running back, Cook, in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you're a running back. No offense. You're not Saquon, and you're a running back. All right, let's do the wall of sound.
The wall of sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
We'll start with football. Dave Canales, your quarterback. Bryce Young, training camp. Everything that he is doing to become the quarterback that everybody wants him to become. All right, talk to me how it went at FanFest.
Absolutely. Just the operation of it all, and getting us out there, flowing in and out of personnel, some tempo involved in there, hitting most of his throws. I think a couple he might have missed, slightly. Even kind of that touchdown he had at the end. I wanted to get a 4th down attempt right there, but I think he's going to take a big hit and throw a touchdown on that play. But he's extending plays when he has to, but he was on time and on the money today, so I'm excited about where he's at.
All right, one of the wide receivers that has really opened eyes, Jimmy Horn Jr., late draft pick, and he was asked if he could hear the buzz around him in training camp.
Yeah, I seen it, but I try not to feed into it. I appreciate all the hype and stuff, but I feel still like I haven't done anything yet. So I just want to go out there and continue to prove myself every day and become a consistent player.
So humble, and he has a great accent like Xavier.
I was just going to say that. What is it? What's going on there? Here he is on what he has gotten better at over camp.
I see from the start of camp, I feel like I had more mental errors on the field, and I'm getting better day by day, eliminating them errors, which allow me to play confident and fast.
I just want him and Xavier to have a conversation. I don't even care what they talk about.
I would like Xavier Liggett and Jimmy Horn Jr. on Crossfire. I'd like to see that. That would be phenomenal. All right, to Dallas. Jerry Jones on the Micah Parsons situation.
As always, in any relationships, there are different moods at different times of your relationship. That's what it is. Don't lose any sleep over.
So just to be
clear, that's the one thing I would say to our fans. Don't lose any sleep over.
It's a mood. Me not paying Micah Parsons like I waited till the very end to pay Dak Prescott twice and CeeDee Lamb. It's a mood.
Just a phase.
It's a vibe. That's all it is. All right, sir. How is the relationship between you and Micah Parsons? When was the last time you talked?
At some point, you do have to recognize that we're talking about under contract here, which can diminish if somebody makes a new contract. It makes you wonder if they'll honor that contract because they're both the same paper with the same signatures on them. So you have to work through the integrity of the agreement, and we're under contract here.
Yeah, you are. You are. Guys sign contract extensions with a year left all the time. All the time. All right, we're going to talk to Konata Edwards, Nana the Scribe, about a number of things, including Luka Doncic and his contract extension with the Lakers. 3 years, more than $50 million a year. Because there was some speculation that Luka might not want to sign there for the long haul. When did this whole thing come about?
I would say, like I said in the press, that first game when I started playing, how they received me, the atmosphere was amazing. It was just unbelievable just to be a part of that. So, obviously I needed some time to decide, but that moment was really amazing to experience.
First of all, playing for the Lakers, that's that's Hollywood. The Lakers are L.A. That has to be an absolute blast. I also think he dug playing for J.J. Redick. And he must have, because what Luka Doncic has done in, let's just say, the 3 months since their season ended. It was like late April, right? When their season ended, May, June, July. 3 months is transformational physically. He's missing, 20% of him, it looks like.
Yeah, whole makeover.
He has muscles.
He does. It's weird. I didn't know who he was.
What is this?
Where'd that come from?
How did this happen, Luka?
Me and my team, we put a plan together. After the season, we all got together, have a meeting, and we put a plan together. So it was a great plan. Obviously now, after I'm going to play with national team, and then, like I said, I'm excited to start playing for the Lakers.
Unreal. Good for him, man. There were a lot of people that never thought it would happen. I don't think the Mavericks thought it would happen. On the low, I actually think Dallas is going to be really good in year one. Obviously, Cooper Flagg matters, but the Mavericks had a pretty good core anyway. Now, not having Luka, if you don't have Cooper Flagg, not that Flagg is a like-for-like replacement, but he does give you a lot of versatility. I mean, he'll never be the offensive player that Luka is, but at least it gives you a focal point. But the rest of Dallas's team is kind of good. They do need Kyrie Irving back healthy, and we'll talk to Nada the Scribe about it coming up. But there were a lot of people who didn't think that Luka would ever dedicate himself physically and just get by on his ridiculous natural ability forever. But the commitment he has shown to transforming his body, yeesh. Talk to Konata Edwards about that. Also the Hornets, maybe a little Panthers. Next.
Chapel Hill to Charlotte, Greenville to Greensboro. Your sports, his state. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Here's how you know the Bill Belichick hype is through the roof. At ACC Media Kickoff, Dabo Swinney, one of the most popular, famous coaches in the country, was walking around giving interviews, and almost no one was following him. That's because every media member was up at Bill Belichick's press conference hoping for just a few seconds of audio from the UNC coach.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
We've officially started a new month, so that means we are one step closer to my absolute favorite time to ride. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here from 99.9 The Fan for Law Tigers, and it's always fun to take the bike out to the beach when it's officially summertime, but I personally love the trips to the mountains when the air is crisp, the leaves are starting to change, the holidays are right around the corner. I feel like fall just gives you more opportunities, even if it's just to take a ride down to the grocery store because it's so nice outside. But with those trips, whether they're short errand ones or long adventure ones, it's always important as a rider to be aware of your surroundings. And if you're ever in a situation where you get into a wreck on your motorcycle, be sure to call Law Tigers first before calling your insurance company. At Law Tigers, they're riders too, so they get it. They know the value of your bike, your gear, the investment that you've made. Case evaluations are always free, and you're not going to pay a dime until your case is settled. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. People are looking around their homes right now, and they're saying, I need this, I need this, I need this. You guys do everything for the exterior of your home. How do you keep it from being overwhelming for the homeowner?
Right, Adam. The first thing we do is we come out there, do an assessment with the homeowner. It's a no-obligation estimate, and we can break it up into phases of projects, or if you want to break it up into easy monthly payments, we come out there, give you a good plan. It's no pressure, no obligation, and whether it's windows, siding, doors, roofing, most of these projects we give you a lifetime warranty on for the rest of your time in the home. And then you can also break it up into easy monthly payments and make it manageable for your budget.
I love manageable. I love easy monthly payments. I love lifetime warranties. Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. These people are amazing. You should check them out online, aluminumcompany.com.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help.
Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
This is Adam Gold.
He said he could talk about his golf game. He did say it wasn't great, and I said, hey, no judgment here. I'm a drive shacker and a putt-putter myself.
None of us are good. Even those of us that are good aren't really good.
Right, yeah.
We're just not.
Yeah.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria, producing the program.
This was a special request from our friend, by the way. I'm sure he'll explain, but...
Oh, it's an amazing song.
Absolutely. Billy Joel's awesome. It's a new documentary, I think, with him.
Yeah, it's called And So It Goes, right?
I think so.
I actually saw an interview he did with Stephen Colbert where he actually mentioned that And So It Goes is one of his 5 favorite songs. Like, really?
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like, it's his.
Yeah.
My favorite, and Billy Joel fans, we stray from the popular album. Actually, why don't we just bring him in? Konata Edwards, my friend Nada the Scribe, joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. As a person from that area of the United States, what was your favorite Billy Joel album?
Believe it or not, it's River of Dreams. Believe it or not.
We'll talk to you next time, Nada. Are you out of your mind? It's like the 14th best Billy Joel album.
No, I'm aware.
And I think there's only 11.
I'm aware of how everybody hates that album. Like, 52nd Street is the easy answer. I love River of Dreams because, again, you got to remember, I was too young to know better at that time. And I'm hearing all about soul and everything in doctors' offices. And I'm like, hey, this is catchy. I love it. Again, I understand that it is, well past his prime, Billy Joel. I understand that. But as a person that grew up in that area, as a fellow Suffolk County boy, I can understand. I understand everybody's upset at me right now. I happen to love River of Dreams. I apologize for none of it.
I can't wait till people see this video and to just watch me with my head in my hands. It's just unbelievable. I don't even know where to go now.
You're welcome.
I'm not even sure what we were going to talk about. Anyway, why did we play Stiletto here? Why was that your walk-up song?
Stiletto's
it's a great song.
I love River of Dreams. Stiletto is my favorite Billy Joel song of all time.
Okay, I like it.
You've been thrown off all day today. That's
totally.
The theme.
I don't. Maybe it's a Monday. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stiletto is a great song. And that's a great part of 52nd Street, which is, for me, the third best Billy Joel album.
Uh-oh.
Well, Turnstiles is number
what
one.
What are the other two?
Turnstiles one,
yeah.
Stranger two. I've said this. You can find Twitter posts of mine about Billy Joel. My top 5 Billy Joel songs. I say it the last time I did it. If I did this again tomorrow, it might be a different 5. There are too many great songs. Stiletto is definitely one of them. Can I get a breaking news sounder? Because I want Nana to react to this. Not River of Dreams as the best Billy Joel album. According to Dan Gantt, expanding the NCAA tournament fields is no longer being contemplated for the 2026 men's and women's basketball championships. However, the committees will continue conversations on whether to recommend expanding to 72 or 76 teams in advance of the 2027 championships. Your thoughts on that, sir?
I guess I'm glad there are certain places that can submit to internet pressure. I got to say that. I'm very glad that we understand that certain places will cave to pressure no matter what. The NCAA is very, very consistent on that, but I'm glad that it came to the reasoning of common sense because nobody wants this. And you're going to probably, what someone would say, what about the TV partners? So what about the TV business, I would ask, makes sense for them to do extra work for the same amount of money? Does that make sense for anybody? Because it doesn't make sense for me. It doesn't do anybody any good to expand this thing right now anyway. It doesn't. The contract is locked in until 2029, 2030. What are we talking about here? So, again, I'm glad everybody came to the common sense of, hey, this is a bad idea. Let's not do this. Are we headed to 72 or 76? Most likely. Yeah. But I wouldn't expect it to happen anytime soon because there's not enough money to go around for this right now.
And I just quote tweeted it. That's my reaction, is that there just wasn't money to do it. They were hoping that CBS Turner would say, hey, man, we would love to have another 4, 6, 8 games to show. And here's the money to cover it. But my guess is that they weren't happy to have 4, 6, 8 more games to show at this point. So there's no money to cover it. Therefore, you're going to have to give out less money per unit, which is how schools and conferences earn money from participation. And nobody was interested in that. So, yeah, we're going to stay at 68.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't make any sense. It will never make sense until, and more importantly, who are we saving with this? What are we, again, we already had, 14 SEC teams? We want all 18? We want to collect the set?
Yes.
Is that what we want to do?
We want oh, man, that would be amazing. All 18. No, there's only 16. All 16 SEC teams. There's 18 in the Big Ten.
I added North Carolina in early. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh, that's so funny. Konata Edwards, CBS Sports, at Nana the Scribe on Twitter, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Okay, so I'm glad that they're not doing that. I have said for years that if you're going to do it, there's a sensible way to do it, but you still have to come up with the cost to cover those games. You simply double your first 4. So you've got 4 games of 16 versus 16 and 4 games of 11 versus 11 or 12 versus 12. That would make the most sense, but whatever. I'm glad. We also don't have enough good teams. The notion that we're leaving out good teams is, of course, a fallacy.
They're never 64 good teams. Like, that's the thing. Like, there's never 64 good teams. Maybe we're at, 60 and a possible. Maybe. But we're not even there.
Right.
Like, we barely have enough to do 68 and be credible about this. Like, I don't understand it. And as someone that works the tournament and whose money relies a lot on this tournament,
right?
I don't necessarily want to see it expand. It's fine as it is. If it expanded, it would just mean more work for me and I get paid more, which is great. But at the same point, quality-wise, what we love about this tournament is that it's just the right amount and it doesn't stay too long. By the time it's over, we're about done with it and we're ready to move on to the Masters.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of this tournament. If we mess with that formula, we risk messing with a lot of other things, and we don't ever see the unintended consequences of expanding these things.
And that's what people need to realize. There's you can just shift it later. No, man. CBS doesn't want it later. CBS wants that sucker over. We got Monday night, and then we got the par 3 tournament on Wednesday. That's what CBS wants. And as long as
nobody wants it, though,
right? And the Masters,
that's the other portion.
Coaches want it, right? Coaches want it because
do we care about what they want, though?
Self-preservation.
When did we really care about what they want?
No, I understand. And honestly, the power conferences want it, which is why it'll probably happen. They want it. They want it because it's about power. It's not about quality of teams. Konata Edwards at Nada the Scribe on Twitter. So where did the rest of Luka Doncic go?
He just I guess it didn't clear customs. New immigration policies. I guess the rest of it didn't clear customs.
Holy cow! This is 3 months. Yeah. His body has been transformed in 3 months.
Yeah. Nico Harrison is somewhere saying, "Look, I told you so. If we got this Luka, we would have not hesitated to pay him." Except for the fact that the return for Luka Doncic was so meager that no matter what point that you try to make, he still looks dumb. There was a point to Nico Harrison's about not getting in shape, this, that, and the third. And I also think that this is very much temporary, where it might be this year, similar to Shaq, where that 1 year he showed up in shape, and then the rest of the years he played himself into shape. It's one of those things. I appreciate the grind. I appreciate the look. I'm skinny now. I appreciate the whole revenge body thing that he's trying to do with Nico Harrison. And again, he might have also done it for that massive $160 million extension, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but he signed a short one. He didn't sign a long one. He signed a short one.
But he signed a short one to get to the $400 million. Let's not again that it wasn't. It's not like he did this self-sacrificially. Oh, this, that, and the third. No, he's going to end up getting $400 million on the back end if he does it. If he plays it right. So it's not necessarily charitable. He's just being very, very smart. His representation is very, very smart, and they clearly have read the new CBA.
I'm telling you, does it change the way you think about the Lakers based on the way they ended last season now that he is in this kind of condition?
No, it really doesn't. Unfortunately, whatever he's going to do, unless that weight loss comes with a fully focused defensive package, and I know Brendan Whitted says this a lot on your show, but Luka doesn't play defense.
No.
Until he starts playing defense, none of this matters. It's nice. It's a really good prospect, but for the most part, none of this matters unless he plays defense. And until he does, then it's nice. He's going to score a lot of points, but he's going to be the mark on defense.
Dallas got to the NBA Finals with him not playing defense. Why can't the Lakers do that?
Because there's no, again, I like DeAndre Ayton. There's no Derek Lively.
I don't understand. I don't understand the DeAndre Ayton thing. Unless they want J.J. Redick to quit.
I mean, look. You see how intense he is and how he might have rubbed people the wrong way in year one. It wouldn't be the worst idea if you really wanted to get out of this. That hey, maybe we just bring the guy that said the most important thing that he would do as a rookie was get to his second contract. Maybe bring that guy to the roster.
Oh, unbelievable. All right, how have you, Konata Edwards, not to describe, how have you processed the Hornets Summer League title?
Let me put it this way. I was in the line to go get the T-shirts. They actually printed the Summer League championship T-shirts.
You have to.
Being that the Hornets have never won anything, I was like, you know what? This is going to be a collector's edition because let's just say they never win anything else, and the chances of that are very, very likely.
Yeah.
Like, I might as well get a piece of history, complete with the poster. Granted, they charge $50 for the T-shirt, but you know what? Well worth it. I bought myself one, my wife one, and I bought my father, who is the king Hornet sicko. I bought them all one because you know what? We don't know when we'll ever see this again.
Wait. $50 for the T-shirt?
Yes.
Is that? I can't even express. What does the T-shirt do? Does it do something for $50?
Unfortunately, no. It's a piece of history, sir. Sometimes you got to make that sacrifice for history.
Is it at least a hoodie?
No, of course not. That would be $100.
My gosh, I can't even.
I know.
Is it Louis Vuitton?
Inflation is a mother.
Is it a Louis Vuitton T-shirt? Who makes it?
It's a plain old cotton tee.
My
plain
God!
Old cotton
All right, wow. All right, I have one more. Since you are based in Charlotte, Konata Edwards, today the entire show has been about like things that have thrown me off. I am blown away by a $50 T-shirt. It's like a $5 milkshake from Pulp Fiction. Eventually, with
inflation, that milkshake is now $20 though.
That's right. Vincent Vega was like, "That's a pretty good milkshake." I don't know about $5, but it's a pretty good milkshake. Talk to me about the buzz in the city of Charlotte for the Panthers.
It's palpable. I think there are a lot of people that are very, very excited about the prospect of Bryce Young, Ted McMillan, XL getting better, and I think that they're praying secretly, holding on to whatever lucky tchotchkes they have, that this defense is at least, let's just say, NFL worthy.
Okay.
I think this team is going to be very fun. I think they're going to score a lot of points. I also don't think that they're going to stop very many people. You're going to see a lot of 35, 32 games in the NFL in Charlotte this year. It's going to be really interesting to see the Charlotte Hornets and the Carolina Panthers have something in common, which is neither can really play defense at this point. It's going to be very, very interesting, but I do think people are excited. We're going to see this is the first step towards competence for either one of these professional franchises this year. It's very, very there's hope. There's optimism. People actually smile and talk nicely about the Carolina Panthers for the first time in 8 years. That hasn't really happened all that much around here.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been since midway through the 2018 season when Cam Newton got hurt against the Pittsburgh Steelers on that Thursday night game. It has been a downhill spiral ever since. The last few weeks of last year's regular season when Bryce looked like the real deal, that has certainly changed a lot of moods. Adding McMillan, as you pointed out, through the draft. Now you got Jimmy Horn, who actually low-key sounds a little bit like Xavier Liggett light. He's got a funky accent too. I love it. It's all very cool. All right, River of Dreams, huh?
River of Dreams. I know I disappoint you tremendously with that one. I'm very, very sorry, Adam.
No.
Somehow I will pick another Billy Joel song to enter in on, and maybe you'll be happier with that.
No,
Maybe
I was very
you'll be
happy with
happier me then.
Stiletto. It just when your walk-up music is Stiletto, and I ask you what's your favorite Billy Joel album, and you hit me upside the head with River of Dreams. It's such a disconnect. But
it was my first Billy
it's
Joel
fine.
album.
It
Adam.
just shows you how much younger you are than I am, and that's okay.
Yeah, I was about to say I was 10. What do you expect from me?
All right, man. I'll talk to you later. You're the best.
All right, talk to you later.
Not the Scribe on Twitter. My gosh. Whatever. No way I expected that. I expected stranger, but whatever. We'll take a break. In the rewind, we'll go to Washington, D.C. for Barry Svrluga next.
From the heels
Touchdown, Carolina.
to the canes,
She scores!
he covers it all. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Are you taking care of someone on Medicare? Navigating Medicare can be overwhelming. You're not alone. The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program can help you figure out what steps to take and when. SHIP counselors can answer your questions. Visit ncship.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
Ask any college student. If it wasn't for the last minute, lots of assignments wouldn't get done. So if you haven't figured out your plan for college and how to pay for it yet, don't worry, you've still got time. And with the next NC scholarship, you can still get money to pay for most or all of your tuition. To apply, just fill out your FAFSA and you could get $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for public university, and possibly more. See how easy it is to apply at nextncscholarship.org.
Make this your best summer yet by having fun while staying active and engaged. AARP can help. Find AARP events near you by visiting aarp.org/local. That's aarp.org/local to find both in-person and virtual events. You can also learn more about living your best life by listening to AARP Without Limits, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Open the lid on a carton of Bluebell Homemade in the Shade, and you'll have it made, so to speak. It's a combination of our top-selling homemade vanilla ice cream with a swirl of rich chocolate fudge sauce. Enjoy an instant classic.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
As a school nurse, I feel like we're really that contact for the schools.
between the Department of Public Health and what goes on in the school system.
The face of the Department of Public Health in our school is our nurse, Nurse Emma. All the communication that she was receiving and direction she was receiving, she made sure to communicate with us and be a wonderful partner with us.
These kids need their routines.
NC Public Health. Everywhere, every day, everyone.
All of us have a role to play in promoting a mental health friendly workplace.
So what can I do to help?
Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
One Adam Gold. One Adam Gold.
I'm really excited about next season, considering this was supposed to be a rebuild year. But with these new guys, like Bradley Nadeau, we've got Nikishin coming eventually. If we've got Hall still here, Jackson Blake, I mean, there's so much promise and potential. I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, and just wait till the big kid gets ready to play.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Couple of things to get through before we get to the rewind. Wyndham Championship was the end of the PGA Tour's regular season, their air quotes playoffs. Season-ending 3-event series starts this weekend. They're in Memphis, Tennessee. Should only be like 100. And then they go to Baltimore for the second stop, and then in Atlanta for the Tour Championship. And in spite of the fact that he's been around for a few years and has been one of those players that we all expected great things from, Cam Young had not won a PGA Tour event. You know, was a great player at Wake Forest and came pretty close to winning a couple of majors 3 years ago, but had not won. Well, he ran away and hid at Sedgefield. At one point, he had a 9-shot lead early in the fourth round, Sunday's round. He ended up winning, I think, by 5 or 6 or whatever it was. He was 22 under par. And so good for him. Wake Forest guy. I'm sure he's played several times around Sedgefield, and it put him in, I think, a pretty good spot to make the Ryder Cup team. And he is a New York native, and the Ryder Cup this year is being played on the black course at Bethpage State Park, which is owned by Nassau County. It's a county park. It's an incredible place. So it's going to be a home game for him. Anyway, good for him. Ben Griffin is a North Carolina guy who played well. Ryan Gerard, who won his first PGA Tour event a few weeks ago. And I remember, because I was trying to think of the player. We were sitting here during, I believe it was the U.S. Open. Might have been the PGA, but I think it was the U.S. Open. Where he had like the first round lead or was on the leaderboard. And I'm like, I never heard of this guy. And, of course, he went to UNC. That was the guy. So UNC with two good young players in Griffin and Ryan Gerard. And apparently Gerard got some advice from Roy Williams, kind of maybe helped him out along the way. And Roy, I'm just reading some quotes from a Luke DeCock tweet here. Where Roy recognizes just how hard it is to make it in professional golf. Some of you out there might be wonderful golfers. You might even be a scratch golfer. When what those guys do is different from what even the best of us do. Again, you might be a scratch golfer. What those guys do is a different game, not the same thing. It is absolutely remarkable how just the least bit of tension changes everything. The least bit. These guys are amazing. Incredible work ethic it takes to be a professional golfer. So good luck to Ryan Gerard. Good luck to Ben Griffin, who also I think is going to be on that Ryder Cup team. Not Gerard, Griffin. I think Ben Griffin, who just a few years ago was not playing professional golf. He was not playing golf, maybe recreationally. He had given it up. Now he's back. All right, one more thing. And we brought this up with Konata Edwards about 30 minutes ago when we started with him. The NCAA is not going to expand the men's and women's basketball tournaments for the upcoming season, the 2026 event. They are taking under consideration, still kicking it around, maybe go to 72 or 76 teams in 2027. And what it said to me is that, because they want to expand, the power conferences want more of their, but in parentheses or brackets, of their teams in, but that CBS and Turner, who have the television contract, are not interested in paying any more money for it. They're not interested in having this tournament run long enough to where it moves where it sits on the calendar. Because as soon as they can pay for it, we'll have it. Everything is about revenue. Everything's got a price. As soon as the NCAA can find the money to cover the expanded number of teams, we will have an expanded field. It will never, ever be about, well, so many good teams being left out. Nope, that is not the case. Year in and year out, we prove it by the teams that are allowed in. Doesn't mean you can't win when you get in, but you have to deserve to get in. With that said, let's rewind. All right, let's start with the Panthers. Darin Gantt, Panthers.com. We asked the old guy. So, give me the change last year to this year in what you're seeing.
Well, I think, the roster is better, deeper, and more accomplished. I mean, they spent the last two off seasons spending a bunch of money in free agency, upgrading through the draft at a couple of key spots, but it's a legitimate NFL roster at a lot of spots right now. And so those guys, the belief they have and kind of the vibes coming out of camp, you hear a lot of optimism. You hear optimism in every camp
right
this time of year, but those guys are convinced that, they've made strides to the point where they're going to be competitive. I think it's reasonable for them to believe, based on the second half of last year, you add a first-round receiver in Teteroa McMillan who can catch it anywhere on the property.
Right.
The guy's got a wingspan and he's got hands. So everything is in the catch radius for him. And, so it's reasonable for that offense to think they should be a little bit better. I mean, they were already a really good offensive line, and they kept everybody, brought everybody back. They were already a good running attack, and they added a 1,000-yard rusher in Rico Dowdle to back up Chuba Hubbard. So I think it's fair for those guys on that side of the ball to, react that way. And then when you look at what they did on defense, you go out in free agency, spend a bunch of money on Bobby Brown, Turk Wharton to make that line more stable. You got a Derek Brown coming back. You go sign Pat Jones and draft a couple of pass rushers. And then you look around, it's like, hey, we got some dudes over here. So they're feeling okay about things right now.
Yeah, look, they've done a very good job building out the roster. I think what Nada said last segment was true. They're going to give up a ton of points. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, they're better defensively, but it would have been hard to not be better considering how bad they were last year. And remember, this is a team that just a couple of years ago was all about defense. How does it go the other way so fast? Scheme changes have a lot to do with it, but, I mean, it is remarkable how far they had fallen defensively. They just got to get, as Steve Logan likes to say, just get run over slowly. Right? He says that about offensive linemen. Just get in the way. Just get in the way. That's all we need. All right. I asked Darin Gantt about the wide receiver position. We have Adam Thielen. You've got Hunter Renfrow, who, by all accounts, looks like the old or the young, if you will, Hunter Renfrow. And I asked him about wide receiver.
Well, you have accurately assessed it, Adam. It is deep and it is good. And, you know, it's to the point where there are a couple other dudes you got to consider, too. I mean, prior to an injury that, you know, forced him off the roster the other week, Dan Jacinto's a big special teams guy who they had some hope for. Bryson Tremaine kind of fills that spot now as that guy people haven't heard of, but's got a decent shot of making this roster just because somebody's got to run down kicks.
Right.
And he is a big body. He's been on Washington's practice squad in the past couple of years, looked really good in camp. So throw another log on that fire. I mean, they've just got dudes stacked up. I mean, I think I'm hesitant to declare anything this time of year because they hadn't even played the first preseason game yet. But I could see them keeping 7. I could see them, you know, having some hard choices to make when it comes to the Hunter Renfrows, David Moore, Jimmy Horns, because if you're not XL, Tetaroa, or Adam Thielen, you better play teams. And you better contribute some other way on this roster. And I think it's reasonable to think Jimmy Horn could be returning punts. I think it's reasonable to think that Hunter Renfrow's done enough to justify his spot here. So we'll see. A lot of moving parts, but that's a much better problem to have than, you know, going out and signing some of the receivers who are out there on the street. I mean, I've seen DJ Chark and Chosen Anderson's name pop up in the last couple of days. And, you know, when you think about where they are and where they were, that ain't a bad place to be.
Chosen Anderson. That will never not be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Chosen Anderson.
Who's a bear? Oh, my gosh. What team are you on?
Who was... Where was he Robbie with a Y or Robbie with an I-E? I think he was Robbie with an I-E when he was with the Jets. I think. Could get that wrong. Before we continue, and I'll let you listen to a little bit of our conversation with Barry Svrluga, can I get the breaking news sounder? 2 bits of breaking news. And, I mean, this is about as exciting as the last bit of breaking news. The preseason college football poll is out. At least the preseason coaches poll. Texas, number 1, 28 first-place votes. Ohio State, 2. Penn State, 3. Georgia, 4. Notre Dame, 5. Clemson, 6, albeit 2 first-place votes. Oregon, Alabama, LSU, Miami round out the top 10. In all, 3 ACC teams make the list. SMU comes in at number 16. There were 9 schools from the SEC, 5 each from the Big 12 and the Big 10, albeit most of the Big 12 schools came in at the bottom of the top 25. In terms of also receiving votes, the ACC had 5 schools in that category. Louisville would come out to be 28th. Let's see who else is in the also receiving votes. Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Duke, and Florida State. Not a single vote for UNC with Bill Belichick. Not a single vote for NC State. But not a surprise, 9 SEC schools in a coach's top 25. I am baffled. Maybe we'll be wrong. Indiana is in the top. Actually, Indiana's in the top 20. I mean, didn't like most of those players leave? I don't know. Maybe they could do it again. And I haven't looked at their schedule, but I'm sure it's trash. All right, now back to the rewind. Barry Svrluga of the Washington Post. Big story in D.C. is the holdout or trade demands of Terry McLaurin, their wide receiver. How much of a problem is this, Barry?
6 out of 10 right now, with the potential to be an 11 out of 10 by the end of camp. But I think, we've seen this across the NFL, and it's not an unusual negotiating tactic. The player really doesn't have a lot of leverage here. He is under contract for this year. He would like to be more fairly compensated, where he feels like he fits in the stratosphere of NFL wide receivers. It's pretty clear if you look at this deal that the Pittsburgh Steelers gave DK Metcalf, who they traded with Seattle for, like a 4-year, $132 million deal, which in the NFL is, of course, false and fake. It's actually guaranteed at 2 years and $60 million. But McLaurin is the same draft class as Metcalf. His stats and availability adds up to better than Metcalf. And if he's looking at, north of $33 million AAV, that puts them into the top 4 receivers in the league. And while Terry McLaurin is just the most upstanding citizen and most prepared player and has done everything that he's asked of in Washington, he's not a top 4 receiver in the league. Right. So it's easy to see where the impasse is, because McLaurin can say, that team gave this dude that deal and I'm better than him. And the team can say, just because one team made a bad deal doesn't mean we have to. So we're still a long ways from the September 7th start of the season. Terry is the kind of guy that is going to be prepared. There is a benefit to having more reps in training camp with your quarterback, but it's not like it's last year when the guy was a rookie. They have 17 games plus the playoffs of rapport. So, again, I'd circle back and say it's about a 6 out of 10 of alert in D.C.
All right. Yeah. And I brought this up with Barry. I think what Washington has to consider is where they are in terms of being able to compete. Philadelphia might still have the best roster in the NFL. I mean, it's very possible that they've got the best roster. How much better is Washington than Dallas in terms of their talent? Probably better. But does it flip if McLaurin is not there? You have a second-year quarterback. You don't really have a replacement for McLaurin in terms of, all right, this guy, McLaurin's out, this guy will plug in. At some point, Washington's going to have to sign him. And they're going to have to give him, it's going to be uncomfortable for them, but I wouldn't wait. This has to get taken care of, I think, pretty soon. All right, we got to get out of here. Victoria, thank you very much. We had football over the weekend.
Yeah.
We have football coming up this weekend for you people. Talk about it tomorrow. Bye.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
You've heard the perfect scores on air. We're bringing our champions to the stage. It's our second annual Numbers Game Live show, presented by Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill. Perfect players will compete on August 21st at the fabulous Hilton Raleigh North Hills. Watch on YouTube as we crown a Numbers Game champ. Special thanks to On-Site AV, a full-service event production company, for lighting up Numbers Game Live.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit Pfizerforall.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Stay informed with The Rundown, the daily newsletter from High School OT that delivers the most important high school sports news and insights straight to your inbox. Brought to you by High School OT and powered by our sponsor, First Carolina Bank. Subscribe to The Rundown at highschoolot.com.
The aftermath of Hurricane Helene left many in western North Carolina feeling lost, their homes damaged or destroyed, and their lives upended. But there's good news. The new Division of Community Revitalization is here to help with the Renew NC Single Family Housing Program. The Renew NC Single Family Housing Program offers home rehabilitation,